Hello and welcome to another discussion episode. Today I want to discuss a specific thing that I'm noticing. If you're going on eBay, if you're going on Amazon or all that, you have to notice that games, specifically older games from within 2 decades or a decade ago or so.
It's like around 2020, I noticed these video games is going up in price. It was ridiculous. Most of the Silent Hill games are up in price. I was fortunate enough to buy some of them. The third one, I did have to spend a bit of extra bucks just to get this. But this is the only way to play the dang game. Konami lost the files, the main files for the game, and that's why we got the HD collection, which was crap. On the other hand of the spectrum, the PS1 games, some of them are going up in price, and boy, scalpers be scalpers. Parasite Eve is expensive. Heck, this baby is expensive, and I'm fortunate enough to even have it. And who's to say some other games are just going up in price that I really want to play, but I just can't. And that is why most people emulate games, because, well, hey, these companies don't seem to care about putting them up somewhere so we could play them officially. Fortunately, I was able to buy a few games on PSN, which was the PS3 store. I wanted to get them before they pretty much shut down the PS3 network officially. Xenogears and then the Mega Man Legend games. I also have the Castlevania game as well, though I might buy the PS4 version for that one. But it's crazy. Like, I can't even find Paper Mario for a good deal without a reproduction of it, or even the GameCube version.
It's also crazy that the fact of different versions of a specific genre, like Silent Hill, especially Silent Hill 2, it's pretty expensive on PS2 than the Xbox. Now, I don't have the PS2 version, I do have the Xbox version, which is a decent version if you can't find a PS2 version, but the PS2 version was more superior. That is probably why it is more expensive.
I'm pretty fortunate to have a few other games before they went up, like Mario Kart Double Dash, Luigi's Mansion, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Parasite Eve, and just several other things before scalpers be scalpers. Yeah, by this point, emulation is where to go. I pretty much emulated Fatal Frame 4 because, well, this game never came over here, and I didn't really want to hack my Wii. I'm concerned about damaging it. I might get a physical copy of it just to add to the collection, but even that's expensive. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to emulate the game and play it, but still, I wish it had just come over here for crying out loud. Heck, the Fatal Frame games are going up in price.
There was one crazy thing that I noticed, is that the Suffering, I had thoughts about getting for the Xbox. And surprisingly, that one's more cheaper than the PS2 version. Yeah, I don't know. The second game is even more expensive for the PS2 than the Xbox as well. What is with all this? How is it what makes PS2 so special than the Xbox? I get it, PS2 was more famous. It beat most of the consoles in that decade. It was the best selling game system of all time. But on the other hand, you can't forget about Xbox having basically the same quality, better graphics, and GameCube as well. I understand the PS2 was the best, and it's personally my favorite, one of my favorites of all time. I can get Silent Hill because it was made for that system, but why is the Suffering more expensive on the PS2 than the Xbox? Can someone tell me that?
I just find it crazy that in the video game world, people are just trying so hard to find some old retro games from back then. And the reason for that, the need. They want the specific product. People are taking advantage of nostalgia to pretty much sell old classic retro games because people want to play them so badly. The bad part is, they charge so much. I mean, yeah, I could spend a bit for a specific game. I could always get the money back if I work, but why spend that much? I'm using most of that money for specific projects. The recent game that I had to pretty much spend a buck on, which was already several years old, more like a decade, was the two Suffering games for PS2. $64 for 2 of the games. Now, technically that's an okay deal, but it's without the cases, okay? And they're a bit scratched. Now, the first one played fine, but I don't know about the second one. Why? I'm like, why? Why can't companies just do something about making these games more affordable? I mean, why Haunting Ground in Japan gets a PSN exclusively there on PS4 digitally, and we're stuck with just trying to look for a copy that's about $300 something. Ridiculous. Some other games that I have are also going up on price too. I mean, it's just crazy how the more time goes on, the rarer they get. I want to play Paper Mario 1000 Years Doors, but it's impossible to find a good copy. And even the box, they're selling the box for this amount of money. Oh my god.
Heck, even PS1 games like Xenogears, pretty expensive. They won't even, well, you still have a chance to download that digitally on the PS3 store, but you have to do specific things to download that. The same with the Mega Man Legends. The other problem is Xenosaga is going to be an issue. I've got the first game, haven't played it yet, don't know whether or not it works, but I saw that the third game is also going up on price, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't get why the third, I mean, maybe the third game must have been the best of the best. The first game's still more available for y'all to get it. The second game, I guess, kind of, but the third game is by that point too expensive. And, you know, unfortunately there's no remastered version of all three. I would definitely get that if they would make it. And apparently, I don't understand this, but why is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 so dang expensive now? What happened? The Lunar series. I would really love to play that only on the PS1 version. Unfortunately, those are really mega expensive. Amazon prices them like crazy. eBay is no better. There's also Kuon, which is another PS2 game, and that has gone up in price. The horror game genre is also going up on price, especially after around the time of Five Nights at Freddy's. This was like the big kick to the horror series, which is probably why a lot of them are expensive.
And as much as I really want to play these video games, there's only two choices. I either spend extra bucks for it or I emulate it. Which is a better deal? Emulation. Here's the thing, I don't want to emulate games, but if I have no choice, because scalpers be scalpers and companies don't want to put these things out digitally for a reasonable price, then alright, I'm gonna have to emulate it. I'm not spending that much money. Yeah, the only time I did that was Silent Hill 3, and a bit for the Suffering games, but I don't want to always keep doing that. I need to save up money for both my livelihood, but also for my projects. My original projects. So yeah, sorry, but no. Emulation is probably the best way to go for now until these companies wake up and see that we want something. Yeah, I gotta tell you, that's pretty ridiculous, but you know what? I gotta say, most of the military games are actually okay. I don't really remember much of them being that expensive, or at least right now. I'm pretty sure there are a clone number or two, but it's really hard to say.
Yeah, you know, I'm telling you, Arturo, it's so ridiculous. I just want to play. I just want to play one specific game. Even though it is very, 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 very,
Clone number
very, 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 very,
one, just shut up, please. Shut up. In this day and age, people kind of want to go back and buy games from their past for nostalgia reasons. We've been living through crazy times as of this episode, and even I'm reflecting back on the past. You know, everybody wants to go back to a time when there was no nonsense going on, and that's a good place to cherish some memories and reflect back on some nostalgia. Heck, like, I don't mind going back to PS2 games or GameCube games or N64 games just to, you know, go back to a precious time. Even Wii U games, to be honest with you, even though sadly Wii U didn't do so well. let me know what rare game you guys have, or if you have any specific games that have now gone up on price. Either GameCube, PS2, SNES, even NES, or N64, anything that's mega expensive these days. Because I gotta tell you, if I could get them, I would love to try them out and do a review for them, or do a top 10 about this, or what have you. And also be fortunate that you have grabbed what you grabbed. I would like to see what you guys have. What games you guys were able to get before they went up on price. But that's all the time I have, folks. If you enjoyed this video, like it, follow me, yada yada yada. And yeah, do more episodes like these in the future. Peace. Clone number 1, put that down.
But I just wanna.
Put that down.
I just wanna.
I said put that down, clone number 1.